FMLP, Round Lake Beach, Illinois.
Hello and happy Monday, everyone. Happy Monday. Thank you so much for tuning into 98.3 FM, The Life. You're listening to Bacon Bits with Master Happiness. And of course, I'm your host, Marty Jalove. And I come at you every single Monday night at 7 o'clock to talk about your job, your career, your vision made clear, the skills that you hone for the business that you own, the ups and downs, the smiles and frowns, where you're at and where you're bound. If you miss any of today's episodes, tune in later in the week. The recording will be up on Bacon Bits with Master Happiness, anywhere you listen to podcasts. So as you know, I'm always on a quest to bring you the industry best, someone very, very special guest. And I've got my bestest buddy that we can never forget, the lady who brought me up to the microphone from the very beginning. All right. So say hello to the world again there, Tiff.
Hello, world.
Perfect. Look at that. Man, we switched the cameras on you and everything. So this is going to be exciting, Tiffany. You were the one who suggested a specialty show. I was trying to think of what we were going to do. And you said, Marty, had you ever heard of the term dry begging? And I had to be honest with you. I had never heard of it before. And so I had to look it up a little bit. I thought, you know what? This is really cool. This reminds me, this show is going to be a lot.
Reminds you of me?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
That's great. Thank you.
You don't normally think about it. Yeah, it kind of does. No, it reminds me of the shows we had and when it all started.
Yes.
When we dedicated the shows all to happiness,
Yeah.
all those kinds of things that get in our way of happiness. And so this is really exciting. I love this because we did a show once years ago. Wow, it's years ago on gaslighting. And we got into a lot of great detail there.
Mhm.
And so this is cool. We're going to revisit a little bit of that and a little bit more. And so
It's interesting too, because all this stuff, yes, it has to do with personal, but it could also work with the work life,
oh, certainly,
you know, and your
certainly.
coworkers and stuff. And it's kind of interesting stuff that I did research on, that it could go with the office or it could go at home.
Right. It's anything where there's two people communicating, how they communicate. And this is really interesting. Tiff, over the weekend, I was at the Mensa, Chicago area Mensa convention, and I had two different conversations. One of them was on the difference between your elevator pitch and your cocktail speech. All right, what you do for small talk. And the other one was how to open closed minds. And I told a lot of them to tune into the show because we'd be talking about emotional manipulation, which ties in so closely to that. When you're trying to have a conversation with anyone, whether it's a spouse, a friend, a coworker, whenever you're trying to have a conversation with them, if they feel like they're losing the conversation, like it's turning into a debate, it's really easy for them to fall into one of these emotional manipulation tricks.
Oh.
Okay, so you're absolutely right. This doesn't just happen at home. This happens all over the place. And it's really important that we learn to be able to identify it,
Mhm.
Also be able to end it, put an end to it, or at least try to. All right.
Do you think people may think they have it, or is being gaslighted, let's say,
Yeah.
but you're really not, but you think you are?
Wait, say that one more time.
Okay.
Do the people think that they're doing it or getting it?
Both.
Okay.
So the person that might be getting it,
Yeah.
maybe they don't feel like their spouse or their boss is actually doing it. You may think they are, but
Yeah.
they're actually not. That makes sense?
Yeah. I think without a doubt, it's like anything. Just because I think you're gaslighting me, or just because I think you're doing something like that, doesn't necessarily mean you're doing it. That's
Gotcha.
it's my interpretation. It goes back to the basics of communication, which is always going to be what I said and what you heard are not always the same thing. Okay.
A lot of, like, text message.
Yeah, anything. just having a simple conversation. I mean, I know plenty of things that when you say certain things, you add in some assumptions. You don't necessarily tell the whole story, or you exaggerate the story because you want people to feel the same way you feel. And then you don't know for sure how they've interpreted what you said. And so it goes like that. It's easier. The better we can do face-to-face communication, I have a better idea if you're understanding what I'm saying because I can see your face, as opposed to, like you said, a text message or even a phone call. Sometimes a phone call, I'm calling you, I don't see your face, so I don't know if you're rolling your eyes or what the deal is, right? So it's always better to have face-to-face
So
conversations.
if you call me and I'm on the phone with you,
Yeah.
yes, I'm rolling my eyes.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. In fact, I'm going to talk to you more so you hurt yourself rolling your eyes. Okay. But I think that in itself is something that's really important that I hope that maybe the parents who are listening to the show think about this and talk to their kids about this, because younger generation and unfortunately the older generation now, we're getting so lazy that we don't want to have face-to-face conversations. We're more interested in getting the conversations done quickly. So it's all via text. It's not even a phone call. It's just a text back and forth. And you don't really know what somebody meant. You can't, a small sarcastic conversation, a comment here or there might be misinterpreted, and you might not even realize that you're hurting someone's feelings because they're not going to mention it, right? So it's difficult to speak or to communicate properly over text. It's a little easier on the phone, but it's easiest face to face. Not to say that it's perfect, all right? But anyway, that's a whole separate subject. We could do that whole subject another show. But today, what I love this is talking about reclaiming your power from emotional manipulation. There are a lot of people who fight you emotionally. They trick you. They do some tricks to make you lose that part of the argument, make you lose a conversation, let's say, or at least sway the conversation in their direction. So what we're going to do is a couple things. Today, we're going to talk about a few of them. And that's what I want to do the first half of the show. And then the second half of the show, we will jump into the bacon.
I was wondering if we were going to do the bacon.
Oh, you know it. But of course, we're not talking about the bacon for chewing.
We're not?
No.
The doing.
Yeah. Oh my God. The bacon for doing. Yeah, there you go.
Usually you do the bacon for, and then I say the doing.
All right,
so
we'll try that again.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, we're not talking about the bacon for chewing. We're talking about the bacon
for doing.
Nice. Nice. Remember in the old days, I used to mess that up all the time.
Yeah.
All right. Oh,
but,
yeah. That was the
You've
old days.
grown up, so you got it down now.
Thanks. I don't know. Was that sarcasm? All right. So anyway, so today we're talking about emotional manipulation. And the first one I want to bring up is the one that people know the most or have heard about the most, and that is gaslighting. All right. And that is when somebody does something to another person through conversation and actions to make them guess their own sanity, makes them guess their own memory, their perception of reality, etc. It just makes them question everything that they thought was real.
And it was funny. I never heard this before until
a couple of years ago.
When you first did it, I had no clue.
Yeah, and like I was telling you in the green room, it's interesting because it's named after a movie that was all based around that. And the movie was like The Gaslight or something like that, about a husband manipulating his wife's mind. And
I wonder if that's like on Netflix or something.
It's a pretty old movie. It could be. It's probably worth checking out.
Yeah. I think I might.
But so the idea here is, I've got some examples written here. You confront someone about something hurtful, and then they in response say, "I never said that. You're making things up." That's real. What do you?
I'm so sorry. My husband does that to me all the
Wow.
time.
Wow.
I didn't say that. I didn't say.
Right. Yeah.
You're fabricating.
Yeah. Exactly. Wow. Wow.
Is right.
Does he listen to the show?
He does, and he is now.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. He's like, he's probably going to go, "I can't believe you said that. I never do that." Right.
Oh, goodness sakes. That's funny. Okay. Continue,
so,
please.
Yeah. So gaslighting. I love the fact that you threw your husband under the bus so quickly. All right. So other than gaslighting, you take a look at that. It's really easy when you trust another person so much, and then because you wouldn't expect them to lie to you. You wouldn't expect them to turn the truth like that on you, right? And so when that happens, it's really easy for you to start second guessing yourself, because you're like, I'm pretty sure I said that, or I wouldn't have said that. Whatever the deal was, I thought that's what I heard from you, but the other person comes across with so much confidence. It's really easy to start manipulating somebody. And then, like I said, they start questioning their own memory. They start questioning their sanity, etc. And then people continue to manipulate them.
Now, is it possible that the other person honestly doesn't think that I made that? Let's say.
Oh, sure. Of course. Yeah, of course. It's always going to be true. It doesn't necessarily just because you say, "Oh, you're gaslighting me." It could be that you really are losing your sanity. or
Okay.
or you don't remember something correctly, right?
Okay.
And it goes back and forth. Now, it's a protective measure, okay, if somebody gets accused of something and they sit here and go, "Oh, I did say that." It's a protective measure because they don't want to be caught in. They don't want to be accused of something, right? And so they don't want to face the music for something they've done. It can also be done in a violent manner. Like, I really want to hurt you. I want you to second guess yourself. But I think it can also be done kind of accidentally. All right. And so we just have to view that, but we do have to be able to identify it. And this is why I'm always big on open communication. If something goes on and between two people, whether they care for each other or if they work together and they have to work together, it's okay to say, can we have a little more of a conversation on that? Because I want to, what did you hear when I talked to you? What did I say? When did I say that? That type of stuff. Okay. So I think it's always important to have open communication.
I agree.
All right. So after gaslighting, we're looking at guilt tripping. All right. This one, I think you're going to like that one too. So we'll see. We'll see who does this one to you, or who do you do this one to. So this involves using guilt to control the other people's actions or feelings. It's this: I sacrificed so much for you, and this is how you repay me. Okay, that type of attitude of just making people feel guilty. There was, it was. Let me see. I would say there was plenty of times that my mother used to do that. Okay, I can say that now because she's gone.
Your sister's still listening.
That's right. Oh yeah, and she would say, "Oh yeah, she's calling in and going, yeah, she did." But it was that whole thing of going, like when a mom goes, "I carried you for 9 months and you can't even call me," right? That type of thing. And so that's throwing guilt on you to make you do something.
Gotcha.
Okay, and again, it's that same thing of having an open communication as opposed to trying to manipulate somebody. Okay.
Gotcha.
What about that? Do you find yourself, would you say that you are more likely to guilt trip somebody or to be guilt tripped?
I don't know. Maybe me doing the guilt.
Oh,
There
there you
it
go.
is. Yeah,
All right.
maybe.
So there you go, Mark.
It's
You're even 1-1. Okay.
Yeah, I think maybe I would. I never. I don't know.
I think, all right, there you go.
I don't
Good.
know, but
Good.
I think I would be the one doing it over him doing it.
Gotcha. So I think what's important is when you say something like that, when you're in those kind of confrontations and you're doing this and you're feeling a certain way, like you're feeling sad, you're feeling like you're picked on. Okay. You're feeling like, oh my God, I do everything like this. I think it's okay to take a deep breath and think about it. It's going, am I really, is this real, or am I exaggerating the truth? So I think it's really good for us as adults, okay, to be able to question ourselves and be able to go back to somebody and go, you know what, that was unfair the way that I presented it to you. I was trying to make you feel guilty, and I didn't mean to. Okay, so next one is actually it's one of my favorites, and I think we'll see this between men and or husbands and wives, I should say, is the silent treatment. Okay. You didn't have this one on your list.
I did.
Oh, you did?
Except you've been going in line, except my silent treatment second to the last.
All right. So that's all right. So it
I'm
doesn't
really
matter.
good at
Yes.
this one.
All right. Yes. Well, that's what I was going to say. The manipulator uses silence and emotional withdrawal to punish you.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So what I was laughing about was this whole idea of there's been so many husbands and wives that the husband's getting the silent treatment and he never really realizes it. He was just thinking like, oh, I thought I went deaf. Okay. Whatever the deal is, that I think it happens. It can happen in either direction. Okay. But it's another one of those sad things that people can do. It's saying we're going to cut off all communication because we can't agree on this. You're not listening to me, or I disagree with you.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
bad because it's
yes.
me. That's me
Yeah.
at home, and it's me at the office.
Oh, see, and you can't do that. And I've seen plenty of things like that. So one of the things that I did when I talked at the presentation over the weekend, I talked about a rubber band, stretching a rubber band. All right. And the idea here is that, let's say you and I are conflicted. We have something that we don't agree on. We have to imagine we have a rubber band and we're stretching. All right. Yeah. And you're going to let it go.
Okay.
Nice. But the deal is that the rubber band is trying to pull us together, right? Trying to pull us together, and we're trying to stretch it apart. And one of the things we have to ask ourselves is this relationship worth losing over a broken rubber band? Is this relationship worth or is the fight worth losing the relationship, or should we try to find a way to come together? Okay. So in other words, the rubber band can either tie us together, it can stretch or pull us together, or it can snap. And then maybe what ends up happening is, and you see it a lot, unfortunately, some people who really care for each other, they come up with one argument, one thing that they can't agree on, and that rubber band snaps. And before you know it, they don't want to talk to each other.
Mm.
They cut each other off, so quickly on one thing. And so the idea behind this rubber band being stretched like that is, imagine, and the best way for me to picture is you're stretching this long rubber band. We're like 5 feet apart and we're stretching it. And on the rubber band are 2 donuts floating. One is closer to me and one is closer to you. I love that face. Thank you. All right. So the deal is, what I want us to do is think about, the only thing that we really disagree on is the space between the donuts. All right. The space between me and my donut and you and your donut. All right. And this is really great to explain on the radio as opposed to seeing visual. It's kind of like this. This is what I use as an example. Let's say you got 2 people pulling the rubber band, right? And I got to really make sure that this sticks to what we're talking about here. We're going off on a big tangent. But let's say we're talking about AI. All right. And one person is saying AI is fantastic. We need it. There's no end to it, right? It's perfect in every way. The other person is saying, no, I don't want any AI, right? So the first thing you do is you go on the opposite side of their donut, their end, and you say, okay, let's go to the extreme of your argument, because you're saying AI is perfect and it's everything and we need it. Do you really want us to have technology to the point where it replaces all the jobs, all the places where it puts people in a position where they can't work? Okay. And I'm not talking about, I don't want somebody to go, well, we'll do other things. No. Do you want it to be like a dystopian future that you've seen in movies, etc.? Do you want technology to take over and eliminate mankind? Would you want it to go that far? Someone's going to go, of course not. Okay. So both of us can agree on the extreme is no good. Then the flip side, the person who goes, so that's what I mean. We don't want any AI. And I was like, all right, so the extreme on your side is, are you saying you're against all technology? Okay. Are you against all of AI? And if they go, yes, of course I'm against all AI. And I'm like, well, you have an email account, right? You have an AI agent in your email that automatically pulls emails and puts them in your junk file, right? It does that automatically. Are you saying you want to eliminate that as well? The AI does a lot. The artificial intelligent agents do a lot for us behind the scenes. Are you saying that you don't want doctors to use artificial intelligence to speed up surgery and speed up recovery? And we're like, well, no, I think that there's some uses. And you say, okay, so we can both agree that there's some positive and we can both agree that there's some negatives. So the deal is you keep pushing those 2 donuts closer and closer together. And before you know it, even at the end, you look at this stretched rubber band, you say, wow, we really do agree a lot more than we disagree. And maybe we only disagree on a small piece.
Well, when do you eat the donut?
Oh, well, as soon as you're done saying, I agree to disagree, then you both eat the donut.
Gotcha.
There you go. All right. So anyway, the important thing, the point I was trying to make, and going way around it here, is the point I was trying to make is this: playing the silent treatment will never get to any type of resolution. Okay. Playing the silent treatment will only get the other person to just give in, saying, all right, fine. We'll do it your way. Just, please talk to me. Just, don't ignore me anymore.
What about if you do the silent treatment just to give, so you could calm down a little bit?
Well, that's not really the silent treatment as we're talking. The silent treatment we're talking about is manipulation. I'm purposely doing that so you have to chase after me.
Gotcha.
Okay. So yes, you're right. There's plenty of times that what you need to do is stop and say, you know what? We shouldn't continue this conversation because it's getting too emotional, right? And instead we should argue or have this conversation in a logical way. Although it means something to me emotionally, I don't want to argue with you emotionally. So let's both calm down a little bit and let's come back to it. Okay. And that's what's important. And so that's the little bit of silence. In other words, we're not going to talk about it for a day. That's not the silent treatment. That's just taking time to calm down. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So number 4 for me is playing the victim.
Okay.
You like that one too, huh? All right. This is a person who consistently portrays themselves as the target of misfortune. Like, Everything goes wrong for me. Why does everyone always gang up on me? That type of thing. So you're playing the victim. So again, you're hoping that I will feel sorry for you. And again, I will feel sorry for you and I will give up and say, fine, we'll do it your way. Okay. And the sad part about it is that the people who do this, they don't realize that the other people get tired of that.
Yeah.
And they go, I don't want to hang out with you if you're always going to act this way, that your whole life is gloom and doom and everything is falling apart and you complain about everything and everything. There's nothing good in life. Okay. Because then what ends up happening is nobody wants to hang out with you. All right. And so what you have to do is, again, say this to yourself. It starts by yourself. And we have to say, when I say it's always going wrong with me or nobody likes me, that type of thing, you can't talk in those types of words. You can't say it's all inclusive. It never works. It's always this. You can't use those words because it seems like you can say it often happens that people gang up on me. Okay. That's much better than saying always, everyone always gangs up on me. So you have to start with that and move forward.
Yeah. I think it was you that said, I'm sure it was maybe one of our other shows, but I've also read it. Before you go to bed,
Yeah.
is write down 10 things
Yeah.
that went well or that you're grateful for or something. And that kind of helps.
Definitely.
Get
Definitely.
ya.
Well, and so the thing that I did, and so is I have it's called the happiness worksheet. And so what that is every night you go to bed and you list one thing that angered you, one thing that saddened you, and one thing that scared you. And just find them throughout the day and give them a score of 1 to 10. Like, how angry did you really get? And don't say, well, I got really angry, but I was foolishly angry. I shouldn't have gotten that angry. Rank it for real. Then once you do those 3, then come up with 3 things that brought you joy, some happiness, something that made you smile that day, and rank those. And if you do this every day, this forces you to think about positive things. All right. And then by the end of a couple of weeks of doing this, your mindset really shifts so quickly. Okay. But I have some friends I know that do this, like on Facebook. It's like a gratitude journal. And every day they want you to write 10 things you're grateful for.
10 things.
10 things. I know. And so that's right. That's the same look I gave. 10 things. I got to come up with 10 things. I'm going to do a lot of repeating. Right. And they were like, so what? And then repeat it. I don't care if you list the same 10 things every day. It's yours. It's what you're grateful for. And so it was funny because I laughed about it. I said, yeah, this whole thing to make me feel grateful. And instead I started making it stress me out. Like, I got to come up with 10 more things. I better go out and do something that makes me happy. Right. And so it's always good to do some focus on what brings you joy, what brings you happiness, but again, I liked how you added that into this playing the victim, because there's too many people who do that because it's easy to lose. It's easy to quit. It's easy to say life is hard. Okay. It's a little more difficult to keep trying. Right. You look at Rocky Balboa, right? It was, he is fighting. He gets hit. He falls down. Right. That's easy. He's done. He can just quit and nobody is going to second guess it. All right. He's not going to get another chance at it, but he can fall down and say, I tried, it didn't work. He's a better fighter. But the real power is being able to get up and saying, yeah, life is going to continue to knock me down, but you got to keep fighting. You got to keep going at it day after day. And you have to keep doing that, because if all you're going to do is lie down and die, and fall over every time something goes wrong for you, you're going to have a miserable life, and you're going to make the people around you have a miserable life. All right. And you don't want any of that. Right.
Well said.
You like that, huh?
Yes.
All right. So that's playing the victim. The next one I've got here is minimizing your feelings. Okay.
Oh, I don't have that one.
Yeah, I had 7. You had I don't know, 5 or 6.
4, 5. I had 5.
All right. Okay.
Oh.
So minimizing your feelings. In other words, when you are having a conversation with someone and someone is trying to be truthful and open with you, and they're saying, this really bothers me, this really affects me, and I can't, and I don't know how to verbalize this. And, when you say this hurts my feelings. And the other person's like, oh my God, everything hurts your feelings, right? It's minimizing your feelings, because I I can't know what's going on in your head and heart, right? And so when you take the power, when you take the courage to step up and say, I need to tell you this. When you said that or when you did that, that actually hurt me and that bothered me. I should instead respect the fact that you were able to be strong enough to reach out to me. You trusted me enough with that type of a feeling, that type of a sentence, that type of a emotional share. And instead of dismissing it or minimizing your feelings, I should embrace that and say, I didn't realize that. I will try to be better in the future. Now, it could also be we have to find some type of compromise because what I did does not seem like it's that bad.
Tiffany,
Okay.
stop your crying already.
Exactly. It's not my fault, Tiffany, you ate all those cookies.
Oh, we're going there, are we? That was pretty good. that was, I'll give you that. That was good.
That's
And only a certain few will understand.
Exactly.
My brother, one of them,
Yes,
will understand.
yes. And poor Santa's still crying.
Oh!
But in other words, it goes just like that. That I did it to people. I wrote this. It was a Christmas promo for the show. And I didn't get Tiffany's voice on it. Just I wanted her to say Happy Holidays. So but I wanted to include her on the promo. So I said something like Tiffany couldn't be here because she's too busy eating all of Santa's cookies. Something to that effect.
And I got upset because he was calling me fat.
I was not. I was calling you greedy. So anyway, yeah, greedy and gluttonous, but not fat. No. So anyway, when you said you were hurt, my first reaction was, oh my God, get over it. But in reality, I should have listened to you a little bit more. And I'm just glad we stayed friends. And I'm going to continue to teach you.
I never
about
thought I'd be laughing about that as hard as I am right now.
Yeah.
It was like, what? Now we could laugh about it.
I never thought you would have let me laugh about it. So it all worked out. All right. So anyway,
that's funny.
yes. So it's this combination of when you think about playing the victim, some people love to play the victim. And then the opposite side is the other person might be minimizing their feelings. So when you had talked about it a little while ago, is could this be real? Could it be fake?
Right.
What if I'm misinterpreting it? And that's a really tough one because when, it goes into the story of the boy who cried wolf, right? The first couple of times the villagers all came and said, oh, you cried wolf. And it turned out he was lying, exaggerating, right? And eventually you give up on it. So if somebody is always playing the victim, they are setting themselves up for the moment that something really truly happens, a negative thing happens to them. They're setting themselves up because other people are going to be minimizing your feelings. Like, I don't believe you because you think everything is the end of the world. Right. So it's really difficult for the other person to go, I'll always respect your feelings. I'll always respect your feelings when that person is always crying wolf. Right. So it's very difficult to look at both of those. All right. Number 6, what I got here is moving the goalposts. This is the other one you don't have.
No, I never heard of that one before.
I like that look on your face there. You never heard of it, but come on.
Yeah.
You can think about what it means, right?
Moving the goalposts.
Yeah. All right. So you think about it like this is, let's say we are arguing about one thing or having a conversation about one thing. And what you do is you immediately change the argument to something else. Okay. So you move so in other words, you don't want to lose the argument. So you change the focus of the argument. All right. So it's kind of like, here's an example.
Okay.
Well, it's okay, but you should have also done, I ask you to do something. Well, it's okay, but you should have also done X, Y, and Z. I thought that was obvious. Okay. Like I asked you to do one thing. Okay. And so I'm going, well, I did all these other things. And then you say, well, I'm mad at you. So now I have to think of something to be mad about. So I'm going to change it to this other thing.
Oh.
Okay. You kind of understand what I mean?
I kind of do understand.
Okay. It's kind of like, you were supposed to walk the dog. Why didn't you walk the dog? I did walk the dog. Oh, but you should have also fed the dog. Okay. And I did feed the dog. Well, why didn't you make the bed? Okay. But like, where are we going with this? In other words, you're so angry. You're so upset. You keep moving the goalposts. You keep changing the argument.
Oh.
Okay. And so it's really important during those kind of conversations to talk to people and say, let's focus on one conflict at a time, or one piece of this conversation at a time, and we will get to those. Okay, so we're talking about walking the dog. What did you expect? What, I always say, what does success look like to you? And okay, so it turns out what you wanted and I wanted is the same thing, and it happened. Good. And then this feeding the dog, and all of a sudden you start going through this. You have to have this open communication as you're going through that piece by piece. All right.
Gotcha.
All right. You've
Never
got
heard that one.
All right. You've got this is the one that started it all. We're going to get into this, and that is dry begging. Okay. And I loved it. This is the one when you called me and I was like, I don't think I've ever heard this term either. Okay. And this is more subtle, passive aggressive type of manipulation. Instead of asking for something directly, a person will make comments in a very vague way. Okay. And I experienced this from a lot of people. And this is one of those ones that I don't accept. I don't like it when people do this. When people are like, you're sitting there and you're eating a slice of cake and another person walks by and goes, oh, I wish I had cake. I never get cake. Like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, too bad. And I just eat the cake.
So you kind of use that with, boy, I wish I had a Santa cookie, but Tiffany ate them all.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Right. Yes. But you understand what I mean is that when people, they want something, but they won't come right out and ask for it. So the idea of dry begging is it's begging for something.
Instead of just saying, I want the damn cookie.
Yeah, exactly. Can I have that? Or you know what? It would be like a kid coming to you and going, oh, look at that toy on TV. Oh, that would be so nice to have that toy. All my friends have that toy. It would be so nice if I had the toy. Sitting there going, if you're not, and thinking to myself, if you're not asking, I'm not volunteering it. So you teach, kids have to learn this, but adults as well, to learn, if you want that, saying, hey, there's this toy on television. It would be fantastic if I had that. What would I have to do? Would you buy that for me? Or, wow, that's a big slice of cake. I really would like some cake. Can I just try some of that cake? It's so much easier.
So much
okay?
easier.
But I think that the problem is that we are so caught up with possibly hearing no is the answer. We purposely set it up so no is the automatic answer. And maybe I could end up winning because maybe you'll come to my rescue and you'll give me the cake. But if you don't, see, I was right. I never get cake. Nothing ever goes my way. Right?
Gotcha.
So, wow, we went well past, we're into the next half an hour and we didn't even do any of these, this break. So hold on 1 second. We're going to do a little something.
We got to do the little something.
We gotta do the little something. So we're going to do a quick version of that. You ready? Let's see. What do we got here?
Oh,
that's boom,
boom, boom,
boom. And here we go.
Boom.
The Life 98.3. Life's hits from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and now.
And that's it. That's all we're doing.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure, even though we're a little late there, you never know when the FCC is listening, right? All right. So Tiff, dry begging was the last one I had. You have one more on your list that we didn't do, right?
Let me see.
Come on, Tiff.
Is it love bombing?
Yeah, love bombing. What is that?
Oh my goodness, you're going to put me on the spot.
Yeah, it's on your list.
It's not on your list either.
No,
I only had 5. You had 7.
I know. And so I had a couple you didn't have, and now you have love bombing.
Okay.
Come on.
Overwhelming someone with excessive affection, praise, and attention.
There you go.
Early in the relationship.
There you go. Oh man, I did that a lot with Christy. Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah, I did.
And she stuck with you.
I know. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think her sister was like, oh, you're dating a creep. Get him away from you. Okay. So I had to tone it back a little bit.
Dan, you did the how you doing?
How you doing? But so love bombing. So what about you and Mark? Who's the love bomber out of you two?
You know what? I think we get along so well because that wasn't an issue.
No?
You
just don't love each other. That's what it comes down to.
I'm very, very, very uncomfortable when someone
love bombs you.
Yes.
Okay.
Before Mark and I were together, if I would date someone and they would just do that,
Wow.
it made me uncomfortable.
Sure, sure. I think everyone's got a level of comfort with that.
Yeah.
And then it gets to a point where it's no longer sincere, or it doesn't feel sincere.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And I think it's a matter of communication. It's especially early in a relationship, it's difficult because what if the one person really cares for you that much and that's what's coming natural to the person? And if they had a communication and the other person was like, look, you're a little heavy here. And and so the first person goes, I'm so sorry. I never act this way. It's just I'm into you, right? And so maybe you can have a communication, kind of tone it down and find that balance if there's something worth saving in that relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's interesting because you added this to this idea of emotional manipulation. And I'm wondering.
Oh,
no, I think
this
it
is
works.
good.
I'm wondering how this works because it's got to be the extension of it. In other words, I would think the love bombing is doing it so much, but not really meaning it.
oh,
Okay. In other words, giving the other person so much affection that the other person can't stop but fall in love. And then the other person's kind of like, yeah, I didn't really mean that.
too much syrup on the pancakes.
That's it. That's it. And then you open up in between the other pancakes. There's no syrup in here at all. It looks like there's too much. That would be the thing. And I think that comes with maturity, that when you're dating, don't become someone that you're not. Okay. Live up to who you really are. All right. And don't put on this big show in the beginning, because what if it's a long lasting relationship? You eventually have to become yourself. And this is when a lot of people go, yeah, he changed or she changed after we got married or after we started dating, they changed. In reality, they actually went back to normal sometimes. Okay. And what they were doing is they actually changed during the dating and they tried to become something that they thought you wanted.
Yeah.
Okay. And so it's a terrible thing to do. So you're so much better off just being who you are right from the beginning.
There's people out there, women,
Yes.
that are so insecure that they want all of the mushy stuff.
Yep.
And expect it and tell their boyfriend, husband, or whatever, that this is what I want, this is what I need. And how do you know if it's sincere or not? The other person's probably just saying it because, okay, that's what they want to hear. And
you have to have these, right.
I don't get that.
Well, it's the same thing in the beginning. Like maybe somebody goes, I've been hurt in the past. And part of the thing was I never got that kind of affection. That's what I really want. That's what I need. And the other person then gives them that affection. And you've got to find a balance. All right. And it's got to be, let's just say it's a guy and a girl. And the girl's like, I want all this additional affection. Right. And the guy tries it, but he's got to be honest. He's like, this is tough for me. This is not natural to me. You have to have that conversation. And it's the whole idea, like, again, the rubber band, how important is it? What am I willing to do extra out of the ordinary for someone I care for? Or even back to work, for someone I work with? Am I willing to tolerate certain things? Let's say you're sitting next to somebody in a cubicle and they're like popping their lips all the time. Right? And you sit there going, oh, it's driving me crazy. There is a certain point where you're like, I can live with it. It could be a lot worse, right? But there's also a point in time where you talk to them and you say, hey, you pop your lips all the time. It becomes annoying. Is there any way you can do that less? Okay. And so it's a matter of how strong your relationship is, how much you want to keep that relationship. Some people wouldn't even mention it. Some people would tell HR, I need to move to another place.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever the deal is. But I think we can all become better and adults if we learn to just have some open communication across the board.
I agree.
When we talk about dating, I now it's easy. I'm done dating. I'm married, so it's finished. Although I try to go on dates with Christy on a regular basis. We try to spend some time, remind each other how much we care for
Do you
each
still
other.
get her a gift like once a month or once a week or something like that?
God, don't start anything like that. No,
You did something.
I don't know. That was some old show when I was
Oh.
lying to you.
Oh, maybe that
Okay,
was it.
yeah, maybe.
All right,
But
Christy.
anyway, she's like, please don't. Right? I don't need another coffee cup.
Sorry.
No, now I don't even know what I
I
was going to say.
know.
It
I
was
threw you off. I'm
brilliant. It was
sorry.
brilliant.
I'm sure
too.
it was.
Fantastic. It was the thing. It was the showstopper. It was the thing, the most
Oh,
important thing.
and I ruined it for
Oh,
you.
well. All right. So I'll tell you what, let's at least get into this. So we're at the back end of the show, and I want to talk about
Bacon.
the BACON of how to confront manipulation, and then let's see how we can turn it around. Okay. So I'm going to read them through really quick, and then we're going to go back one at a time. So B is going to be breathe and boundary setting. All right. A is going to be acknowledge their perspective without agreeing. All right. C is clarify and call out the behavior. O is offer a new outcome. And N is know when to navigate away. So I took a little liberty there with no for an N. Okay. But that's
I won't tell
my
anybody.
show. It's my show. All right. So we get back in here. We talk about this all the time. When we're getting excited, when we're getting upset, when we can't think straight, the best thing to do is take that little break. Take a little breathing break. And there's all types of different ways to breathe. But it's really cool if you just do this whole as simple as I'm going to breathe in for 4 seconds and breathe out for 8 seconds, or breathe out for 7 seconds, whatever. Some people do the square breath thing where you breathe in for 4 seconds, you hold for 4 seconds, you exhale for 4 seconds, you hold for 4 seconds, right? And you do this, but what the important thing is you concentrate on the breath. Feel your chest, feel your belly move while you're breathing like that, and it calms you down. I love looking at my watch at my pulse, okay, or my heartbeat, and be able to breathe like that. Yes, my pulse, not my heartbeat, but be able to breathe like that and lower my blood pressure.
Mhm.
Okay. And just be able to look at that and just breathe and breathe. And if you can do that, if you can manipulate your body like that, you have to understand that when you're upset with somebody, just do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because it's no good having the conversation when you're angry. It's no good having the conversation when you're scared, okay, or sad. Wait until you're more neutral. So calm yourself down, make sure both people are ready to have the conversation.
Yeah.
Okay. So breathing is always so good.
Yeah,
right?
that's a good one.
Yeah. And it goes back right from the beginning when we talked about the silent treatment. We have to be able to say, I need some time to calm down and let's have this conversation. It's not manipulation to say, let's not talk now. It becomes manipulation if you never want to talk about it. Okay. And you leave it out like that. All right. The A is acknowledge their perspective without necessarily agreeing. Okay. So what we're doing is we're
I know how you feel, but you're wrong.
yeah.
Something like that.
Maybe a nicer way to say it like that. How about I know how you're feeling, but I don't necessarily agree with you. All right. Just see this a little softer. And I know you're being
Little bit.
funny.
I
You're being
am.
funny.
I
You got-
try.
You got a little coffee.
I got a
Little cookie crumb there.
in there.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, there you go. All right. So anyway, it's I don't want to, this whole idea. I hear what you're saying. All right. But I need some time maybe to think about it. But it's also, I hear what you're saying, and maybe I need some time to process it. Okay. I don't understand what you're saying completely. Can you explain it a little bit more? Okay. But at least acknowledge that you're listening to them. Because if the person feels like you're not listening, then
It's
they're
a pet peeve of mine.
yeah, exactly. I always say that there's two things that Christy is her rules for me. This is her thing. Number one is that she wishes I would listen better, and number two, I can't remember. She said something.
But
All right. So C is after acknowledging their perspectives. You understand that they have different. You walk a mile in their shoes. That whole idea. C is clarify and call out the behavior. Okay, so this is really, really important, and this is the part that takes a lot of courage. When you sit there and somebody is manipulating you emotionally, they're giving you the silent treatment, they are gaslighting you, they're dry begging, whatever it is, you have to stop every once in a while, take that deep breath, relax, and come back out and say, you know what, this behavior you're doing, all right, is hurting our relationship. The way that you are acting is unfair. And I just think we need to talk about it. If there is something you want, something you need, or if you're ready to talk about it, let's have the conversation. If you're not ready to talk about it, we can postpone it and talk about it later. But right now, I don't appreciate when you are acting in that regard. Okay, that way, because what you're doing is it's not a way towards a solution. This is just making the problem worse. Okay. So, but you can see how tough that is,
Very
right?
tough. Yeah.
I mean,
Plus, the other person may not understand or know that they're doing it.
right. And they're going to be, I'm not doing anything. This is all in your head. Exactly. So I can see by your voice that you're getting worked up by this, and I could be wrong. All right. I'm going to go back to acknowledge I could be wrong. And so why don't we both settle down, think about it, and come back and talk about it later? Because I think this is important for our relationship, and I want to talk about it, but I just don't think right now is the best time to talk about it. Okay. So that's that clarifying and call back the behavior or call out the behavior. Okay. O is going to be offer a new outcome.
Ooh.
Okay. Something.
Knock it off, or I'll.
There you go. There you go.
Leave.
Wow, you're rough.
Yeah.
Poor Mark.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. He's going to suddenly, he's going to have this big fan club of everyone's feeling sorry for Mark. Right. So instead of blaming each other, we can focus on how to solve the problems together. All right. So the idea is try to switch it to something else. All right. I'm happy to help you brainstorm solutions, but I'm not responsible for fixing this for you. All right. Do you like that one?
That is.
Yeah. And I think this is really important to offer some solution without getting stuck, without getting pulled into the problem. All right. And there's got to be a way to do this. And notice how everything that I'm saying here, it just makes it, you've got to say it in a calm way, relaxed, and say, I want to help. I want this to end. I don't want us to live like this, us arguing about this. How can we fix it? All right. Very few things just disappear over time. Okay. It's whatever the wound was made, you've got to come up with a way to fix it. Okay. There is a story about a boy in school who's like a bully in school, picking on people, doing bad things, and that he's always getting a detention and stuff. So his father tells him, every day when you come home, if the teacher calls me or if you did something bad like that, I want you to hammer a nail into a fence post. And he's got this one fence post, just hammer another nail and another nail and another nail. Day after day, the kid is doing this. And finally, the father's like, aren't you tired of doing this? Why don't we turn this around? Why don't you try to go out of your way and being a good person, right? And so the kid goes, all right, I'll try to do that. And the father goes, so every day when you come home and you tell me that you helped somebody, that you were being nice to somebody, that you were just a better person, I want you to pull one of the nails out of the fence post. And so the kid does that. And then after a while, the kid has pulled all the nails out of the fence post, right? And the father says, that's wonderful. I love the young man that you've turned into, but I want you to look at the fence post. It is completely filled with holes. Okay. Which means that just because you did something nice, just because you said you're sorry, doesn't heal all the wounds. So being good, just a little bit good, is not as powerful as the negative things that we do. Okay.
Damn, I never heard that before.
You like that, huh?
Yeah.
And so when you think about it, so what we have to do is we have to do something to repair that. Okay. How are you going to repair it? So sometimes it's not good enough to just say, I'm sorry.
You put some putty in it.
There you go. Put some wood filler in there, pull that out, put it in a new fence post, whatever
Boom.
it takes. Exactly. That's right. It turns out he stole the fence post from, old man Drucker. And so now it starts all over. All right. So that's this whole
That's a good story.
Yeah. So think about that, because it's really, really true. When you make a mistake, just saying you're sorry does not take away the pain that you caused. Okay. All right. So that's that, offer a new outcome. And so the last one here, the letter N, is know when to navigate away. All right. And this is the tough one. It's always tough because sometimes no matter how much we try, the other person's not ready to have a conversation. Right. And you can say, hey, I feel you're gaslighting me. I'm not gaslighting you. Oh my gosh, this is all in your head. Right. And and you're like, there you go. You're just gaslighting. That's what it is. Right. And so that no matter what you try, you can't get through to the person. And so you need to be able to say, again, like in the beginning, how much energy am I willing to put into this relationship to keep it going? There is a point where that rubber band, we're going to stretch so far, it's going to break. All right. And so what we need to do is understand that we have to take care of ourselves. We've said this before about the when you're on an airplane and the masks come down, they always say you have to put the mask on
Except
yourself
yourself.
first before you can help someone else, right? And so you've got to be able to do that. If it seems like that rubber band is going to break and you sit here going, I've done everything, and you really have tried everything. You're not trying to emotionally manipulate the other person either. You really tried everything and it doesn't work. You owe it to yourself to get a third party to come in to help, or maybe end that relationship. And if it's working together, let's say you work for a boss who is constantly manipulating you, constantly making you feel less than you deserve, right? You can first address the person. You can get a third party like the HR department to get involved, have a full-on conversation. But if it continues, you owe it to yourself to leave.
I think that would be harder to do the business, the work thing.
Yeah.
I think it would be easier to talk to your spouse rather than at work.
Well, because you know what? Part of this, and tell me if this is the truth. Are you saying you think it'd be easier with spouse because you have a relationship and it's more difficult to just say, I'm willing to leave you? You know, they're not going to say, I'm willing to leave you over the way you make soup. Okay. Yeah. Versus at work, it's your only relationship, your only connection is the job, and it's not as intense. So sometimes it feels like I might be able to have a better conversation with the people I love, okay, because they will tolerate a little bit more, okay, than strangers. I mean, you think about this. Somebody bumps into you. Let's say you're at a restaurant, you walk through and somebody bumps into you, and you turn around going, hey, don't you say you're sorry? And the person goes, no, I don't have to say I'm sorry. It was your fault, right? A little gaslighting on their point, right? That's not going to ruin your day. You're going to let that go because you have no relationship with that person. That person, you don't follow the person and go, you know what? You obviously are very upset. Why don't you come back to the restaurant tomorrow and talk about it? And then when you're ready, you can apologize to me.
You could buy me dinner.
Exactly. Right. So you're not going to really do that because you have no real relationship, no connection to the person. Right. And so I think the stronger the connection you have with the person, it does give us a little bit more freedom because I'm not afraid of the confrontation, because I'm not as afraid of losing that person over something small. Okay. Someone at the restaurant who bumps into you, you might turn around going, hey, you said, why don't you say you're sorry? You don't know what that's going to escalate into because you don't know who that person is. Right. So it's a little bit more difficult when you don't know the person. And so that's why I think having, like you said, having the conversation with someone you love, a spouse, a very close friend, is a little bit easier than doing it with a coworker, because your relationship's a little stronger. Okay. But no matter which one it is, you've got to learn to have a conversation. You got to be able to speak up about it.
You're right.
And no one says it's easy. The whole thing takes courage, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. And I think it's important that, I pitch this all the time to companies about how managers should have these meetings with their people once a week. And I have a special meeting I call the bacon meeting, of course, right? But I think it's also important for married couples, boyfriend and girlfriends, people with significant others, whatever it is, to have regular touch point meetings, okay? And just be able to say, what's going on? What's our conflict? Are we having any, do you see any obstacles in our relationship? Something that you feel we might not be able to overcome, something that I don't want it suddenly one day it explodes and you go, I hate when you do this. And you'd be like, I wish you would have told me, but we've been together for 5 years and you've never told me you hated that. Right. And so I think there's got to be a way that what we need to do is have more of a touch base and an open conversation. And so the bacon meeting that I was talking about breaks it down like this. It's BACON, obviously, right? So we talk about the big picture. And I would say, so, what's in the big picture? How do you feel our relationship is going? How's everything going? Are you feeling on a scale of 1 to 10? Are you feeling like we're doing great? Whatever, right? That's the big picture. Then A is the action steps. So based on that, if we're doing well, how do we capitalize on it? How do we keep moving forward? If maybe we're not doing so well, what can we do to turn this around? All right. So that's the B and the A. And it's mostly what I'm talking about is not so much about us with the B and the A, but mostly about you. What's going on inside you that maybe I don't know about? Okay. When we get to the C, we talk about conflicts or concerns plus a solution. Now, you notice this works with a couple, a married couple, or it works with people working together, right? So what are the conflicts or the concerns, something I should know about now, and what is what's a potential solution? So this is not about whining. This is about us talking about something that's bothering you, something that can affect us and how we can make it better. Okay. Then you get into O, which is outside or other things. What is happening in the rest of the world that's going to affect us? Okay, with a business, we're talking about competition. What's happening out in the competition? What's happening in the grand scope of things with purchasing, vendors, etc. But with a relationship, what's happening outside? Like, are you spending time with the girls at book club and they're always complaining about their husbands, or whatever it is? What's happening outside that could affect us? And let's have a conversation about that as well. And then lastly, N is, I call it the notable win. All right. And I think it's really important. It goes back to that person, whether it's work or a relationship. And they go, tell me something that you're very proud of that I might have missed. I didn't note it for you because I care for you. You're an amazing part of my life. And I just want to tell you, congratulations. I want to tell you I'm proud of you. So tell me something new. And like I always say, it could be at work. You could say, well, I closed that big deal. I finally finished the budget. I learned a new chocolate chip cookie recipe. Whatever it is, tell me something every week so I can say, congratulations. Wow, you're amazing. You always outshoot my expectations. So when you do that on a regular basis, it strengthens that relationship.
I like that.
The other person feels heard.
Yeah.
And what's cool about it is the first two questions, the big picture and the action steps, are all about you. And the last one, the notable win, is all about you, right? Because I want to hear from you. And the other two is I want to hear from you about what's going on between us or what's going on outside, how the world and us, how it's affecting you. And I want to be there to listen and see if we can fix it. And man, you start doing that the next week when you have a similar conversation, you start bringing up the same things. Quickly, are we going to fix these things? They're important to me. And it gives us the ability to fix those things. Yeah. So it's beautiful.
That's good.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We're like down to the last minute. So, Tiff, this is beautiful. I'm putting it back onto you.
Oh boy.
So, what do you think? So you came up with this subject, the emotional manipulation. How do you think today's show went? Did you learn anything? Did you just like a little more definition?
I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
I always learn so much from you.
Oh,
I do. I really do. And I'm not just saying that or blowing smoke.
That's that. You're love bombing me again.
But it was nice because it kind of brought back the olden days.
Yeah, I know.
But it's very, very educational. And I got a couple of texts saying, "Oh my God, I love the show. This is what I was working on in our relationship."
So cool.
So yeah,
that is so cool. Excellent.
She's in Florida.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful. It's now I was wondering because the ticker over here said we had 2 listeners, so I didn't know who the other one was. Nice.
It would be Christy.
Nice. Exactly. right. But no, that's cool. And so where do you see yourself? If out of all these things we talked about, what do you think is the thing that your flaw or the area that you think you need to work on?
I really liked how, and it goes both ways, about what did you do that you're proud of?
Yeah.
And what could I do to make something that, if something's bugging you and you're just not saying anything, tell me what it is, because I could maybe make it better for you.
I love it.
And then also I do like, tell me what you're proud of. So I know. I like that.
All right. Excellent. I was going to say which one of these emotional manipulators I fall into, but we're out of time.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
No, I'm going to say the one, and I can't believe I'm going to admit to it, minimizing your feelings. I know that I am trying to be so positive that sometimes when people are having a rough day, I won't accept it. I try to push them, minimize those feelings, and tell them, smile more. Okay. Yeah. That's who I am. But anyway, that's me. All right. So anyway, thank you all so very much for tuning into Bacon Bits with Master Happiness. If you've missed any of this episode, all right, so just give it a couple of days and it'll be up live on Bacon Bits with Master Happiness anywhere you listen to podcasts. Thank you so very much. And next week, I'll be back with my boys. You know who we're going to be talking about next week?
Oh, I could only imagine what.
It's one of the legends of sales. We're going to be talking about Benjamin Franklin.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. All right. So again, thank you so very much and stay sizzling.
Stay sizzling. Bye-bye.
3 Life's hits from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and now.
You didn't say